Hi everyone, and welcome to another apartment building video. So today I'm making a Bohemian style apartment in the Arts District, and I'm actually going to be using this apartment in my city living let's play. And I decided to go with the Bohemian style because the Sims who this apartment is for are fairly creative. Two of them are really into art and painting, and then the other one is more into music. So I just saw them having an apartment that had this kind of eclectic style that just looks like things from different places that were put together. And also they are fairly young, so while they are moving up into a nicer apartment, they're still, they're still not super well off. So rather than having a perfect matching set of furniture, I just saw them getting random things from the flea market and just putting it all together. And there actually are a few things in this apartment that they did get at the flea market, because rather than just buying all new furniture for this apartment, I didn't sell the furniture when I moved them out of their previous one. So I was just putting as many things from their previous apartment into this one as possible. So a few of the things, like the living room couch and the martini lamp that you usually get from the mixologist career, were from the flea market. So you'll see that. And originally when I was going to be using the stuff from the old apartment, my plan was to not change the colors of anything, but I ended up just changing the colors of a bunch of stuff because I realized that, I felt like if I just kept the colors of everything the same, it would end up looking a lot like their old apartment. I didn't really want it to look like, the same apartment as their old one, so I just changed the colors of a few things just to give it a little bit of a different look. But here in the living room, I did change the color of the table that the TV's on, but I kept the color of the couch the same, and I kept oh no, never mind, I did change the color of the coffee table a little later on, and I ended up keeping the same rug in there too, although here I'm just changing it and trying out some different ones. But some stuff like the beds I changed because I really wanted to go with a different color scheme for their bedrooms. And the apartment I'm using for this is 121 Hakim Street. It's the one that the Jang family was living in, so yeah, I just kicked them out to move them in here because I felt like this apartment was the perfect size, because I also didn't want to use money cheats, which was why I just kept the same furniture that they had, because that was an easy way to save a bunch of money. So I didn't want to go with a huge apartment and have it just sparsely furnished. And I wanted to have something that was still an upgrade from the apartment they had before, which was, it was the one in the Spice District that a bunch of people put their Sims in. It was the one with the 2 bedrooms and the Needs TLC trade. So yeah, I think this apartment's a bit bigger than that one, and I just really wanted to move them because I was getting sick of that apartment because it's just got all the issues that come with the Needs TLC trade. And every so often, I just like to give my Sims a new place to live. I feel like it makes things feel a little fresher, and it's always exciting to play with the Sims in a new place. And the whole bringing their furniture along thing did save a lot of money, because in the lot info panel it said that this apartment was worth about 28,000 simoleons, and when I went to go save in the library, I saw that with everything new, it would be closer to 50,000. So yeah, that was a big help. It would have cost a lot more if I just bought everything from scratch. And I was also a bit inspired by how this apartment originally looked when furnishing it, because I did use the same orange walls that the apartment originally had, and it also has that art, or that studio area at the front of the apartment. I used those dividers that came with City Living that apartment had going into their room, just because I thought that was such a cool thing, although I didn't put a door in between the dividers like the apartment had. I just felt like it looked a little bit better with it open. But yeah, that was probably my favorite apartment out of the ones that came with this game. I just thought it was furnished in such a cool style, and I liked how colorful and eclectic it looked. And I didn't exactly furnish this the same way that one was furnished, but yeah, I did take some inspiration from that here and there. And I did like how this apartment had enough space for 2 pretty decent sized bedrooms and then a studio area, because like I said, 2 of the Sims are into art, so I wanted to have just an area for them to paint. And then the other Sim is into DJing and singing, so I wanted to have space to fit a DJ booth for him, because unfortunately I haven't really done a whole lot with him DJing in this Let's Play so far, but with him having his own DJ booth here in the apartment, that'll hopefully be, well, it should be a lot easier than it was before. So yeah, I think this apartment will just work a lot better for them than the one that they were in before. I also made it look pretty cluttered because I don't really see them being the most organized Sims either. I just really enjoy furnishing for specific Sims, or like thinking about who I'm furnishing a build for as I'm furnishing. I just find that it makes it a lot easier to furnish if you just have an idea of what kind of Sims would be living in a place. So I really had a lot of fun just kind of thinking about what kind of a place would suit these Sims as I was building it. But yeah, we're done with the living room, so now we're on to the dining room, and the dining room is probably my favorite part of this apartment. That's why I used a picture of the dining room in the thumbnail. I don't know, I just really like how it turned out, which surprised me because I actually got really stuck on it at first. But yeah, I did use these chairs, which were, I think they're the dining chairs that you can only get from the flea market, but yeah, I just used that unlocking cheat to get them anyway because I just really thought that they would fit the look I was going for with this apartment so well, because they just look like, you know, they you can only get them from the flea market, so they just really look like something you would find secondhand, like just some old vintage piece of furniture. I like how they have different patterns painted on them, and they just have this look like the paint is wearing off some. But rather than keeping all the chairs looking the same like I do now, I did change a few of them to a different color just to get that look of it's not a complete set. Like, they just had to get some that looked a little bit different to get a complete set of chairs. I thought that looked a lot better, and also added a bit more color to the room, because the ones that, you know, the beige color or tan color that I had them in originally just was kind of bland. It definitely needed a little bit more color, but then I still thought it looked too organized when I made all of them blue or all of them green. And then we also have that table behind there that has the green paint on it as well. And then I also threw in a painting on the wall behind there, and then there's also a mirror on that brick wall next to the window, just because, I don't know, I just thought that having an old mirror in there randomly would just give it kind of an eclectic look, because, I don't know, I guess you don't usually see mirrors in dining rooms. I don't know, I guess I have seen that before, but I feel like it's not something you commonly see, so I thought that was just kind of an eclectic little touch to there, and I also sized up that light so it hung a little bit lower. So yeah, we're just putting in that painting, and that is it for the dining room. So now we're on to the kitchen, which is just a... Oh, never mind, I'm switching out that bookshelf there. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I needed something that blocked out a little bit more, like broke up the orange wall there a little bit more, so yeah, even though that one's a bit more expensive, I just thought it looked a little bit better in there. But now we're on to the kitchen, which is just a small galley-style kitchen. I really wanted to give them nicer appliances and counters than what they had before, because before they just had the, you know, the gross ones that came with city living. But yeah, we were kind of starting to run low on money at this point, so I just gave them the not grungy versions of what they had before. So it's a slight upgrade, but not as nice of an upgrade as I wanted to give them. But oh well, I mean, maybe in the future I could give them nicer cabinets and counters and appliances and such. But yeah, it didn't really take me long to do this kitchen. It's just fairly simple, but it is a bit roomier than what they had before, so that's nice. And I could see some of the stuff that's going to be coming with the Parenthood game pack working well in this kitchen. Like, I think the bread box would be a cute decoration for it. And I can also see the counters and cabinets and appliances that are going to be coming with the working well in here too, but they're probably a little bit too expensive for this apartment because I didn't really have any money left over when I was done furnishing it. But maybe in the future, once I save up some more money, I'll give the kitchen a makeover with the stuff from that game pack. Just because I feel like it would go with the look of this apartment so well, like especially that farmhouse sink, and the appliances seem to have a somewhat vintage look. Maybe, I don't know, it's kind of hard to get a good look of it from the trailer, but it looked like it kind of had more of a vintage style to it, so I really think it would have worked well for this apartment. And I'm just really excited for that game pack in general. Probably the most excited I've been for a game pack, just because I feel like it fills a void in this game that really need to be filled, because it seems like it's going to add a lot more to the toddler through teen life stages, which I feel like the game really needs, because a lot of the focus has been on young adults, and I get kind of bored playing with kids because there's not really a ton to do with them, so I feel like you just kind of keep doing the same things over and over again, and there's not really consequences for behaving bad, and like no one cares if your child sim's out to like 2 in the morning at a club. Like there's no consequences for anything. So I like that it looks like you're gonna be able to set curfew, and that you'll actually like be able to set a specific curfew. So hopefully that'll also work better than it did in The Sims 3, because the whole curfew thing in The Sims 3 got real annoying, because you get brought home by the cops if you stepped like 2 feet off your lawn, which is just stupid and really annoying, and then your Sims get grounded, and then they get yelled at for trying to go to school. So even though it's cool to have those features, they did have some issues with them, and I think you can I'm pretty sure you can ground Sims with a stuff pack or game pack. So hopefully it'll work better than it did before. I think it seems like rather than the game automatically doing the grounding or setting the curfew, that you can set it. So yeah, that'll be good, so your Sims won't be grounded for just, you know, going 2 feet off their yard or something silly like that. So I like that you have the option to make your Sim actually, or hopefully you have the option to actually make your Sim, you know, actually choose to have your Sim ground their child. So you can have them be lenient or be a strict parent who always punishes them or stuff like that. I just think that'll be so cool. It'll make so there's actually consequences for how you raise your kids. Because before, if you wanted there to be consequences, you had to just kind of make it up yourself. So I like that you can actually use gameplay to back up your story, or, you know, whatever story you have your Sims, because I feel like that just makes it so much better and so much more interesting if the gameplay actually backs up what you want to do with your Sim rather than you just kind of making up everything, if that makes sense. And the whole character value thing looks really cool too. And then they also have this teachable moments thing where I think that's what they called that pop-up that was in the gameplay trailer, where the teenager said something and then you could pick different options for how you respond to it, and then how you respond to it affects their character values. And I thought that was so cool because it makes it so that what your Sim as a parent says actually impacts their kids, and then they can also have certain traits that are unlocked based on, I think it was based on their character values, like being responsible or having bad manners or being compassionate, and apparently there's more than that, so I'm really excited to see what all of them are and just learn more about it. And I just can't wait for this game pack. Like, I definitely have not been this excited for a game pack before, because the other ones, like, because this one feels like it's really gonna change the core gameplay of the game, and the other ones were just kind of additional things. But yeah, I'm interested in hearing what you all think of this game pack and whether or not you're excited for it and all of that stuff. And the build and buy mode items look really cool too, so that makes me really want to make a build with that. So I think shortly after that comes out, I'm going to start on a family home using that stuff. And then I also wanted to use some of the stuff from the backyard stuff pack for it as well, because a while back I wanted to make a family home just using a bunch of the stuff from that pack in it, but then I never ended up doing that. So I think it'd be cool to just use stuff from the Parenthood game pack and the backyard stuff pack and just make this really cute and cozy family home. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to make that shortly after the game pack comes out. So that'll probably be the next build that I get up, because I just really want to work on that. But anyway, getting back to this, we finished the first of the bedrooms and now we're working on the second. So the first bedroom was for a couple named Cyrus and Mila, and they're the two artistic Sims in this apartment. And this bedroom is for Josh, who is the one who's into DJing, and he's also in the social media career. And originally I was going to keep his room the same color scheme that he had it back in the other apartment they lived in, but I decided that I wanted to go with something a little more bold than how it looked. So I ended up going with a red and yellow color scheme, because with this apartment I was trying to use some bolder colors throughout and just make it kind of colorful looking. You know, I was trying to balance some, you know, like mixed neutrals with bolder colors, and in the end I really like how it turned out. And I also stuck one of the murals that was in their previous apartment here, because I noticed that the murals were in their inventory, and if you stuck them up on the wall they just had whatever mural was on them before, which makes no sense because you can't really just move paint. But at first I was trying to include them in the apartment, but I ended up getting rid of them because there weren't really any wall spaces where they fit in right. Like, it just looked kind of weird in Josh's room because it didn't really go with the decor in the room. I mean, I could have changed it, but it just kind of looked weird on the wall, and plus it was partially blocked by stuff anyway. So yeah, in the video clips at the end, you'll notice that the mural's gone because I decided to get rid of it and just put up something else instead. And I ended up also getting rid of the mural in this room because it just didn't really look right in that space. But yeah, this is the studio area that I was talking about. So one half of it is the art area for Cyrus and Mila, and then on the other half is the DJ booth for Josh, as well as his karaoke machine. Because back in the beginning of the Let's Play, I did say that he was into DJing and singing, and unfortunately I haven't been doing a whole lot with that, so I'm going to try to do more with that from now on out, just focus a bit more on his goals, because it was brought to my attention that I haven't really been focusing on him enough, so I'm going to try to fix that in upcoming parts. And then I also thought it'd be fun to put a bubble blower right in the middle of the room. But yeah, we're almost at the end of the build, so as usual I just want to mention that if you want to download this, there will be a link to do so in the description. And also have stuff in there on how to find it in-game. But yeah, that's all I have to say, so I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.